Hello, everyone. If you're familiar with the channel, you might be aware of a few videos I've made talking about metal as commodity and having been streamlined since the turn of the century to be palatable for pretty much any audience possible. And I've come to be aware of a toy sensation that has swept the world within the last, I don't know, 10, 15 or so years. I've got some friends stuck in perpetual adolescence that collect these things, but you may know of them as Funko Pops. And why are they popular? Well, essentially, they're the perfect consumer product because, as we've talked about before, people have forgotten how to actually enjoy or like things. It's more important to broadcast the notion of you liking those things or to enjoy the vague idea of what the thing represented, like you could find in most black metal fans. But regarding these toys, what they are is they're a short, squat rendition of anything that you've ever been familiar with. What makes them so ubiquitous and popular is that they have managed to get licensing from everyone. So your normie Star Wars dorks can have a short, embarrassing version of their favorite character, as can your Lord of the Rings people and even your horror junkies like me. Uh, and they've covered all the bases. So they've essentially created the perfect consumer product, and a lot of them have a ridiculous amount of value. And because people in my age group are part of the needing to be raised by TV type of generation, we're stuck in that perpetual adolescence, like you can see with this guy, who seems to have made his entire persona about collecting these fucking things. And from what I understand, what they are is just a little toy that you leave in a box, and of course, that's how you maintain the value of a collectible. But these things kind of, for as small as they are, they take up a lot of space, and these people are very avid collectors. So all of the holes they have in their soul, they just fill with these ridiculous boxes of ideas of things that they actually used to enjoy. But I'm just kind of seeing this trend in how we have to have a token of something that we once understood as being a passion of ours, and this concept has doesn't seem to be going away. These things are very very valuable, and because you can get one of every single thing, that they're just never going to stop. And you where the value is right now is in the resale market. A friend of mine managed to turn over a whole bunch of them, and really just for some reason, despite them having no inherent value at all and just being something that you're going to leave on your shelf until the end of time, he managed to make a shitload of money off of them. And you could argue about the value of money as well, but it's hard to deny the fact that you can probably get something that means a little bit more for your dollar than these stupid fucking tokens of a yesteryear type of notion. But anyway, a lot of people want to have them because it's very important to broadcast to your friends when you have parties that you've collected these things. It shows that you're a lifestylist and you have passions, and you have to document that time in your life when you enjoyed something and hold on to it until you're a corpse, and leave behind a trail of bullshit for your movers to tend to. It's very important. And, I don't want to come across as someone that is anti collecting, because if you've seen my videos, I do enjoy having things that to me have value. But it's important to remember that very, very little, in fact, nothing that has been created this century has any value whatsoever. And most things before then as well. But you still got to make sure your friends know that you got it. You got to have that display out. And it's crazy how far it's come, because the Funko Pop idea has transcended the normieisms to even the metal scene, and you can get your Slayer Funko Pops right now. You can get them at Amazon, so you can never escape being sold to, regardless of what you're into. And you could argue that Slayer hasn't been underground in a very long time, and sure, that's true, but the idea that you can get a figurine of essentially every single thing out there should be alarming to you. And the fact that everything that we had once hold dear to us is now being streamlined and forced back into our faces as something that we need to have, you'd think that you'd be on the defensive about it, but no, people are still gravitating towards these things. But Slayer's not the only one that has been canonized in the history of the Funko Pop here. Here are figurines of the band Tomb Mold. Now, these toys here, what you can see here is that they've managed to take all the humanity out of the band. And as you can see here with the diminished jaw lines and the lifeless eyes and the lack of any masculinity at all, that it really just it makes it palatable for everyone. If you have any kind of defining features, that's not going to go over well. So you got to make sure that you are just a blank canvas for people to project themselves onto in order to be sold. But yeah, I mean, if you want to make sure that you hook the audience, it's really important to make sure that you have limited ideas or limited versions of the things that you're selling. And a lot of these Funko Pops that you're seeing, they're going to be of everything that I've mentioned before, but this one might have a different hat on. So you could have Chewbacca with a red hat, and it's important to fill your shelves with those things because your friend's going to want to see that you have the rare new hat, and you don't want to be caught dead without that hat. It's the word travels fast in the underground, and I would hate to be on the receiving end of the jeers for that. But as you go ahead and look at what the Funko Pop landscape is like, despite the fact that they're trying to portray themselves as avatars for colorful characters throughout history, all of them seem to start to look the same. And it's really jarring that the most popular thing to hit in the collector market really is just an indicator that people don't want individuality. They want something that has really been stripped of every single semblance of individual thought because that stuff is challenging for someone that's trying to perceive and digest art. So it's very important to just come up with a template and do slight variations on it to make sure that you want to collect those things. Once again, to show your friends how cool you are. But at the end of the day, all these things are going to wind up in the trash. And, as much as I would like to think that the stuff I've collected throughout my life is going to, well, when I'm on my deathbed, I'll look back on the ridiculous horror poster collection and, all the garbage CDs I have. I'd like to think that they mattered. But, does anything at all? Not really. But, I do like knowing that my carbon footprint, because of my collecting ways, will stifle the environment for the next hapless saps that are trying to do the same thing. So thanks for watching.